Yo, Mario, bless that beat, bless that beat.
Good evening, advancers. Good to see everybody. Welcome to another episode of Evening Markets. I'm your coach, Tim, of Advanced Kingdom. And it's good to see you all on. I see we have folks pouring in. Who we have here? We got Judy on. Diana, good evening. Dr. Torres here, good evening. Priscilla's here, good evening. Mia, good evening. Glad to see the advancers coming in. Brother Tim is here, good evening. Terrence is here, good evening. No, I had this in the bank. This is that evening market music. Dr. Denise is here, good evening. And Paula is here, good evening. As you come in, say good evening so we know that you're here and accounted for. And a lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff happening in the Nikkei world. Let's take a look. Because we got some volatility going on. We want to invite God's presence here. This is a kingdom mandate of what we do, why we're here, how we're taking over industry. We need the Lord. Yeah, we could do a lot of things on our own, but we choose the Lord who goes before us. So Father, we thank you tonight that you are here with us. 2 or 3, all that we need for you to be in the midst, and you have more than 2 and 3 gathered in your name. We gather in the name of Jesus. We know that you will be with us. We know that we will leave here and not be ashamed. We know that this time is progressive time, that it will be productive, that you will be with our minds, that you will be with our hearts. Allow us to glorify kingdom in all that we do. Allow us to think wisely. Allow us to think with understanding. Be with our mind and our hearts to allow us to move proficiently through the charting tonight. Unlock understanding, unlock revelation, unlock wisdom for those that are hearing this broadcast today. And with all of this, Lord, you get the honor, glory. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, let's jump over to the chart this morning because we have got some activity. There's sometimes we show up and not much is going on, but for those that are used to how Nikkei move, for those that are used to it, it's been moving. 7 o'clock. Let me go to the hour just so you can see what's been going on. We've been in a huge sell-off on Nikkei, really the entire market. Nikkei, gold. Gold had a small retracement. Indices, they've all been dropping. Nikkei has been a part of that. And so if you came in on the 7 o'clock candle, you can see right here it pushed up and then we started to push down. So really what happened was we retested a previous high and we retraced that. You can see it better probably on the 5 minute. You do it there. Yeah, you can see it better on 5 minute. Let me go to 10 minute. I'll stick with the 5. All right, so yeah, we started off on the high, lower high, pushed down, pushed back up and retraced about 61.8% of that total move. And then we hit the target. We pushed down, hit the target. That was, for those that were looking at it, that would have been a great take profit here to hit the target. But as aggressive as it's been moving, it may push down a little further and extend down to 37 37,000. That's what it looks like currently. VWAP is hanging out right around, which was a great place to take it. I actually entered into this sale here and took it down to take profit. And now waiting for the pullback, waiting for a little consolidation, a little pullback, and see if we can get back in and take that back down to 37,035. We'll watch it and see. There's a few things going on, but right now we're in 8 o'clock candle is trying to pull back. So if we go to the hour here, we can see that 8 o'clock candle starting to pull back a little bit. And what we're looking for is that 8 o'clock wick. Now, higher time frames is showing us a little something. It's showing us that 4-hour deep shark candle, which, we're not worried about. We know we're going to get a pullback here when the 4-hour opens back up. That's probably going to be at that 9 o'clock hour. When that 4 o'clock closed, 9 o'clock opens back up, it may push down and create some retracement through the night. So we'll take a look at that towards the end of tonight's call. But for right now, we're not looking at the buys. We're just looking for this to wick out and then catch the sale back down. So let's just watch this for a little bit. And I'm going to do my top down analysis here shortly. So we want to get in the habit of doing that. We're already in the habit of doing that. I keep saying that. We've been doing this enough where that's just a habit now. So this is the target here. You potentially could measure this pullback since we've already hit the 27 mark. We potentially could measure this one and say that, okay, possibly 61.8, maybe, depending on how things look and shake out, entering back down into sales down to 37.30. That's a possibility tonight. Hey, Tamisha, good to see you on. Hope everything's going well with you. All right, so let's do our top down analysis and then we'll get into what we're going to get into, whatever we're going to get in tonight. The night is young, so whatever we want to get in tonight, let's get it in. All right, top down analysis. Let's get rid of everything on our chart. And really what we're trying to do, fix my headphones here, is make sense of the market. You always want to see where you're at. Things happen that you're not in control of. And, Mia's already started gangbanging in the chat. Mia's already gangbanging. Throwing up her signs and everything. Team Triumph is in the building. I don't know if Team Ignite is here, but Team Triumph is definitely here. But yeah, we want to make sense of the market, see where we're at. And so we talked about this before. We had some divergence that was here. Usually that plays down to the 50. That's on the monthly, which it did. So you had the monthly divergence that played down to the 50. And that 50 mark was a good place to retest old structure. And there's the old structure right there. Let me make my screen a little bigger. Yeah. So that's what we know that was there. Old resistance. We broke through. Turner support. We got the monthly divergence that played down, actually spiked down for the month. I don't know if you remember, August was selling off, and we looked at the chart and we said it was that first week of August begin to sell off. And we was like, well, that's like 3 or 4 days of push down that we had, and then all of a sudden, the rest of the month turned around. But that retested this area, and it then left us here. It didn't break it. It didn't create a new high. It just left us where we're at. So this September candle opened up at the high of August, and now it's starting to make its claim to fame. It wants to make its wick at the bottom and retest some areas. So we're looking at areas of possible retest. 37 is the goal for tonight, but if you look at where price is currently relative to the last area that was tested, 36, let's call it 36,785 is way lower than 37. So that's working for us. Is that we're not looking for a push all the way down. That's a monthly move, but 37,000 could be the target for tonight. All right, kind of confident on that for the month. All right, so now let's go down to the week. The week has the 50 MA sitting right at, where's it sitting? Right at 36,770. So that's another indicator that potentially 37,000 is within reach, and we're just looking for a short move. We're not looking for a month. Now, listen, I didn't want to start a fight in the chat, all right, between Team Ignite and Team Triumph. Now, we could run a poll and see which team has the most members on tonight. We're not going to do that, all right? We're going to keep it clean. We're going to keep it clean between Team Ignite, Team Triumph. We're not going to see how many members of each team are on tonight and run contests and competitions. We're here to make profit, y'all. So, stop the set tripping. Stop the set tripping in the chat. That's it. I'll be a messier tonight. All right. Good evening, Corey. Good to see you. All right, so the 50 MA, the weeklies here, 50 MA. So let's just look at the 50 and see what that's telling us. All right, so we do have the spike down that came down to 200. We already looked at that. That's just a cleaner look of what the monthly did, came down, and then push back up. September opened up. In September, we're what, 3 days in, and we're already pushing down. And 50 is the target, right? And so we're close. This is a liquidity area that we think that we're going to push down to. September want to make its presence known. That's a great place to make its presence known. All right, so that's a target for tonight. All right, so now as we start to go down to, I skipped the day, didn't I? All right, so day is another indicator that we are selling off. We have the divergence here, where we created pretty much equal highs here at this level. Last touch of the 50 is what we want to talk about. Last touch of the 50 is here, 50, 50. So we're divergent. Just to see that divergence that exists right here. Just taking a look, and it's flat right here. So we're definitely divergent when it comes to the 50. Now, I guess you could say that this is the last touch of the 50, but that's not what we're saying. We're pushing down. So we're pushing down at this time. It looks like we're trading below the 50 on the daily. And 800's hanging out around here on the 8 hour. All that stuff is linked to the sales. We broke structure right here. That's an important thing. We want to see where structure, we were in an up move. This was the up move. We broke structure right around here. All right, so this was support. We broke support. All right, so that's important for us to look at and when we're building our case. Now, when we get down to the 4 hour, that's when our eye starts to deceive us, because now we got a deep shark fin on the 4 hour. So usually our eye says, well, we gotta wait for the pullbacks. Forget the pullbacks. It's trending. You're going in the direction of the money, the contracts. Right now, contracts on this are trading to the downside. All right, so that 4 hour shark fin will turn around. It's going to be a great move, but we were looking for it around 37,000 to turn around, which means it has a long ways to go. The hour supports what I'm saying. The hour is getting that ugly shark fin going. Now we're going to get a little bit of pullback, but we got that ugly shark fin thing going. All right, everybody's tracking. If you have questions, ask them. No question is a stupid question. If you have a question, somebody else has the same question. All right, we're retesting VWAP right now. Let's keep scoping down, because the lower time frames is saying that we should be pulling back. All right, so you have a shark fin divergence right here. So we get that interim pullback. And that's counter trend. Yeah, it's been a petty day. I'm coming back. It's been a petty day. It's it's just one of those days. I started in with Terrace. He had to call me because I was talking about his team. I started in there, so that I think that primed the pettiness, and now we have the two teams. So I'm trying to spark greatness out of Triumph and out of Ignite, and what better way to do it than to be petty? All right, 45-minute, we got the divergence. 30-minute is ranging. So that's our first indicator that we're not ready to pull back. We are going to pull back, but we're just not ready to do it big time yet. That shows the range is just starting to move sideways. 15 minutes moving sideways. Bands come below the 50, and I'm ready. 5 minutes below the 50. Let's just jump into sales. So I'm going to enter a contract here. What we want to do is, because we don't always get these opportunities where the market is moving like this, so I want to take advantage of it. So let's put the idea above I want to go above this candle. Just looking at candle anatomy, I want to go above this candle. Right, so we don't want a play where we continue to push up and eat up and engulf this entire candle, right? So we want to stay below that candle if this idea is going to work. That's a 15-minute, but we're really just talking about this candle. Really, we're just talking about staying under VWAP. That's all we're looking to do, right, with this idea. And so we're going to follow this up. I guess we can go to the 15-minute and just pull our stops above the 15-minute there. Once we start getting above VWAP, we're really not looking at this anymore. All right, so what we're looking for the 8 o'clock candle to do is to push up, create its wick, and then start to collapse down. And then we're going to measure here because we have some levels marked out already. This is 37,000. We're not going down that far. All we're doing is going from high to low. So high is here. We're going to the low here, and look where that puts us at. That puts us below 37,000. Don't really want to be that low. I want to be, let's do this one. Let's measure here, just for tonight. I want to be about right here at 37,020, right? And then do want to be at a 2 to 1. Which we can get away with that. A 2 to 1 will work here. All right, and so now we open up our trade box, hit the create limit order. We're gonna go to market, and just one contract, we're gonna risk about $800 on this to make $1,500. I think that's a good play. Risk $1,800 to make $1,500. All right, and so I think that's what we're going to do here. 8 o'clock, we're right at 8:21. So let's we'd like to wait till 8:30 to do this one. But I think we're gonna go ahead and start to get involved here. So I'm gonna enter this sale as a market order. We're risking 750 right now, 725. All right, so that's the play that we're doing right now. That's the play that we're doing. And we're just gonna let that play out. Is that we wanted to stay below VWAP. It does have some areas of exhaustion right here. Let me see if I can pull into this. And don't want it to get too confusing here. So I'm gonna take off. We have our trade box up, so that's marked down of what our levels are. So I want to take that off so there's not a lot of noise on the chart. All right, so this is really what we're looking at here is based on the top-down analysis, we're looking at potentially risking, here we go, risking 7 to make 1,400. We have a 2 to 1 trade box. So risking 700 to make 1,400. Now, with that 2 to 1, if you have a higher risk tolerance and you want to go 1 to 5 or something like that, you could. The open is right here where this dotted line is up here. That's where the last high was created. And so you can find a 1 to 1 or something like that, a 1 to 5, by pulling your stop loss above that. And that will probably be safe enough to go to sleep on. It's like, okay, we're going to retest some of this area. We'll retest this high, maybe create a double top. So if you want to pull your stop loss up and risk a little more, if you have that tolerance, that's fine. I'm just not going, I really don't want to risk that much. And specifically, just to be honest, I was in, I traded this on at the 7 o'clock hour. So 7 o'clock, we made a couple $1,000s on the 7 o'clock candle. That was here. This moved down. Actually, this was the move. Yeah, this was the move from VWAP down, and then it pushed back up, and then pushed down again. So we made money on that a couple times. So I'm kind of like, okay, I'll give 700 of that back if that's the case. All right, but momentum is heading to the downside. You know how Nikkei is. 8 o'clock is usually a continuation candle, or it is a reversal candle, right? And so back testing 7 to 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock is normally does that. So we'll see if we get the reversal here or the continuation. Right now, this trade idea is more towards the continuation, that we'll go and get a little bit more of this move. And we may see the bottom come in around here. So that's the move for tonight. That what we're doing. It looks like the sellers are in the market, and no reason to question it. You know, why the sellers are here or anything. The sellers have proven to be here, so we're going to go on their side for tonight. Yeah. So what are y'all talking about? What are we talking about in the chat? Yeah, Team Triumph is here. Team Ignite, excuse me. Team Ignite is here, and it's gonna be good. I'm excited about these teams. Yeah, Terrace was in it with me. Terrace was in the 7 o'clock, y'all. It was another private conversation Terrace was having with Team Triumph about the sell-off. This plan. Help Me Trader Academy. Are you using personal TraderBait or Top Step? So in our community, we use yes and yes. We use we have personal TraderBait accounts, and then we actually use Apex Trader Funding. You find that a little more friendlier than Top Step. With the ability to trade on TradingView and just the discounts that they run. There's a few changes with the payouts that are a little interesting, but for the most part, we see that there's an advantage from over Top Step. Apex has a little bit more advantage. So a lot of the community use Apex and personal TraderBait accounts as well. It was a nice trade. Mia, you got to get with your. I'm not gonna. You know what? I'm not gonna start nothing tonight. We're gonna be on good behavior. All right, so we're gonna let this move play out. You know, because I've we'll just let this play out because if you want to, because 9 o'clock looks like it's going to be the sell-off candle, that 8 o'clock may be the reversal that pushes up and retest some of these highs. If you want to get this in profit, I wouldn't blame you to move your stop loss to break even and then wait for the 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock candle for the sell-off if it is going to sell off. If so happened, there was news tonight that takes out all the sellers, and this level gets broken. Let me just mark out the level. This is the last lower high. If this level so happens to get broken out, buyers come in out of nowhere, break out this level, and we start climbing tonight, that would be something, to look at of why that would happen. That would be something I would want to back test. But for right now, we're looking at VWAP being tested, possibly coming up here to hit some liquidity, and then carrying this to the downside. By the end of the night, or by the time we wake up in the morning, you know how we normally see these around 2 to 3% sell off. So whether London grabs liquidity or not, we're not looking for much. We looked at the top down analysis. We said this is the next level, and this is a minor level down here below 37,000. All we're looking for is 37.20 to be hit. Even 37.150, even that would be a nice play to be hit. So we'll see. We'll see. It happened. Yeah, it did happen too quick. It happened really quick. It was a quick move. So you do have that working for you. That you didn't leave. You didn't start Team Triumph. You had to lead the team. That's you make no apologies about the profit you make. You had to lead the team. Everybody knows to look at price at 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. Central, because that's when price is moving. So you had to lead the team. If that's what it is, that's what it is. All right. We'll let this push up a little bit. We got the areas where it is testing. Tonight, I want to look at something though. I had mentioned in the Discord about back testing a few things, and I wanted to take a look at this gold move. I think it's going to be it's going to be something that's going to be recurring. Whenever you get a sell off like this, you have to go do your investigation. And I like investigating. So we had this big sell off this morning. All of us were on the call. We had different panelists. We were all looking at all of these sell offs: the NQ sell off, the US 30 sell off, S&P sell off, and then gold was selling off, but gold had this interesting move. And so we marked this on the chart this morning, and this hasn't changed since this morning. We had, areas where price spiked down, bounced off a level, and then pushed up to retest. And then, it did march back down. So it created the high, pushed down, created a lower high, pushed down, lower high, right? Then push down. So it's doing that right now. It's creating a lower high. But this move here, there was a lot of confluence on that. When you look left, that was a liquidity area here and here. That was retesting. So a lot of times when you start seeing sales, you have to look left to see where the liquidity is. And this short move right here, which turned out to be a 1 to 3, turned out to be a 1 to 4 almost. Those moves are great moves. And so when we look at Nikkei tonight, when we're looking at this, you can't forget to look left. And when you look left at this, there's a few levels that present, similar. And I probably have to go to the 4 hour to see it clearer. Similar liquidity levels. That when you get this huge sell off, what has it done in the past when it sold off like that? All right. And so you get these liquidity levels that pop up, and those become the level of concerns of, you can't really see it, but there's a lot. All right. So this is the level that we're on, and we're spiking down into this zone right here, where, you get this spike down. It's not as clean as gold was this morning, but that becomes, when you drag that left, that becomes, areas of concern, whether we're going to be able to close beneath those areas. Because as you get these big spikes down like this, you also get a great retracement out of it. You got a spike down, great retracement. A huge spike down, and then you get a great retracement. And so that 4 hour is going to close. This is a 4 hour chart. That 4 hour is going to close right around 9 o'clock. And then about a half hour, And so that's really what we're looking for. Is this spike down going to give us a great retracement? You know, the greater the spike down, the greater the retracement is going to be. Give us that V pattern. That's something that you have to keep an eye on. Not really looking for it, but you got to keep an eye on those spike down. So that's something that we're cognizant of, and that's why I like back testing. You know, some of these past moves, like on gold, is like, yeah, we got the big, huge spike down, but then it came back and gave us a nice V pattern. We were retesting this level here. This came back. Well, that was the breakout, but there was a lot of orders that were left there on the breakout. And that's what I'm looking at for Nikkei, is we're potentially, and that's what it looks like we're doing right now as I'm talking, is that on this liquidity level that we just marked out. Let me mark this out a different color, because it looks like I'm giving back a little bit of what we made. Let me mark this out as red. Let me do a different color. Let me do gray. All right, yeah, I just got stopped out of that position, but that's what I'm looking at. Is okay. So this 4 hour, and you look at that move. So we just sold gold. Of why we bought gold this morning, off of that move. But when you look left, and you can even stretch this a little further, over to where this liquidity is as well. I even like this one. So you get this huge move down. It comes into this liquidity area. And even though this is the overall move, liquidity zones are places where orders are. And look at it, just pushes up and retraces. Right? Spikes down here again, pushes up, retrace. And so, you know, we're kind of looking at this area here, similar to what gold did, is spiking down to this area and then getting some reaction off of that area. All right, and this is the double top area that we're talking about. So if I got stopped out here, which I see it now, but possibly looking at a potential re-entry back into here in this double top piece right here. We're currently divergent. Actually looks a lot better at this stage here. Now here's the thing that we were concerned about. We're concerned about this 15-minute candle being eaten up, and that's currently what's happening here. So those buyers are stepping in. That 15-minute candle's getting eaten up. Those buyers are stepping in. This is the next level. I'm going to hold off on the sale. I think this is setting up for a great sale right now, but I want to look at the right area for this. Let's take a look. Let's find it. Let's find it. Yeah, there's a 5-minute divergence. That might be it. I'm not convinced yet, but we do have a 5-minute trend that's currently going on. Hopefully everybody can see that. And yeah, 37.7 would be wouldn't necessarily be interested in the sales at 37.7, just because structure is broken, and we're just looking for where structure is at right now. The 4 hour is getting ready to turn around here. Let me see. We just crossed over the half hour, the 30-minute mark. So let's just look at it. I love getting stopped out of something and then having to reevaluate. And you know our slogan, traders trade. And so you get stopped out. Some of the best moves is that second move that comes. And that's what I'm looking for right now. Because nothing in this is screaming buys right now for the 8 o'clock. We are starting to climb out of a little hole here. We did create a lower high, or I mean a higher low, excuse me, here with this candle. But the way that this is coming up has already presented divergence. And we're looking at an area to place the trade and leave it alone, right? And this would be I don't want to say this is a great place right now, but it's kind of a great place. So let's just check all of our confluences. Let's just go through this, check our confluences. You know, we know what the higher time frames look at. We know at the 4 hour, that 9 o'clock may be a pullback. It may be a pullback. We may get some interim pullback here. 1 hour has that ugly shark fin. So we know that has the possibility of selling off. We know what the higher time frames are doing. Monthly, weekly, daily. We know that's selling off. So that's also working in our favor. 45-minute looks divergent. Looks like it will push up. But look how fast 30-minute is getting up there. So don't want to see something that's not there. You know, I'm fine with taking that loss and being done. So we're really not trying to make up anything that's not there. But there's something that's here. It's just, there's something going on right here. I'm gonna leave that on. Yeah, we got the break right here. We're producing higher, 5-minute high, low, higher lows. We broke it right here. We pushed up above, and we're pushing up to 61.8. When we got up to the 50, the 5-minute 50, we got this divergent signal, and that's really a signal that I think is going to say, oh man, we should have took that. We should have took it right here. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to enter a sale right here. And I risked 700 on the first one. I think I need to give it some room to pull up a little higher, but my target is still the same for tonight. All right, so I'm extending my stop loss a little higher. With the same, you know, my risk is a little higher. I will say that. Risk is going to be a little higher on this. So this account is down a little bit. I don't know if I want to risk that much on this account or switch it. And I do have my chart on the other side of where my account is for the day and how much I'm willing to risk out of this account. And I don't know if it's worth the risk right now, just having lost 700. So let me figure this out here. SRT getaway. Is that Zach? I think that's Zach. SRT, I think it is Zach, but I'm not sure. But I think you would be right if you're seeing a fair value gap there, a bullish fair value gap. that it dipped down into. I do see that here, and it did get the first rejection there. Yeah, I thought that was you. Here it is right here. If you're looking at that 5-minute fair value gap, it did push back down into there, and we are getting that first rejection there. I was like, you switch up the names on the usernames quick. I recognize it. I was like, oh yeah, that's that. So you should be back. How's school going? You should be back in college. I don't know. I think I'm just going to ride with this one. I think I'm going to ride with this risk. It is 1,100 though. It's a little more than, so that would be 1,800 on the night, which would mean I would be positive about $200 on this account. Not really a great decision. 2,200 to lose, and I've already lost 1,800. Yeah, this is what you got to do. You got to go through the math here. I think I'm going to do that one here. But Zach is right. We do have a fair value gap. Let me get rid of this one. Let me get rid of, we're at 61.8. We are already aware of that. We know that we're coming down to the original target. So this push up here did create a fair value gap on the 5-minute. The one thing that I'm looking for, and I'm playing off of just the hidden we're calling this hidden divergence. So that hidden divergence should produce a lower low. It should. It's the rejection off of the 50 and then coming down. And we're going to see if we break through this fair value gap. And if this was just the pullback, right? And so, yeah, I think we're going, yeah, I'm risking 1,100, another 1,100 here. So we're going to see the momentum is down. That's the one thing that we got to be aware of. The momentum is down, downward projection here. Let me just see where we're at. Yeah, we pulled down to 44%. We've seen this as high. When it gets up here, we'll be at about 0.17%, right? And so in terms of a pullback, we haven't hit a substantial pullback where we haven't, once we passed open below it, we haven't really been up that way again. So we probably will see this, and this is just the projection, just based on how things are going. You got to see this percentage being around 2 to 3% in the morning. Like, it's a longer term play, and that's where I'm like, do I want to pay? You know, it's like I'm buying inventory. I usually can buy the inventory for, if this was a business that I'm running, I could buy the inventory for $500, right? And I can make a profit on it. Buy it for $500, sell it for $2,000, make $1,500 on it, right? It cost me $500. Here, I got to buy that same inventory for $1,100 to make $2,000, right? And so he said, don't do it like that. I'm not going to do that, but I'm just walking through the math of how I'm thinking about this. Is that I'm buying inventory at a more expensive price, right? And so if I buy inventory up here, this $1,100 of risk, to make this $2,000, is it worth it? Go to sleep at night, wake up, let's just say I didn't make the profit on the 7 o'clock candle. Let's say I didn't make the 2,000. I lost $700, then lost, if I lose $1,100, that's $1,800 that I lost. Would I be fine with that to make that profit? to make $22.75. Would I be fine with that? Right now, my confluences are here. Right now, the higher time frames are supporting it. And, you know, how many times do you get an opportunity to sell a lower high? You know, how many times do lower highs work out? So if it doesn't work out this time, how many times do lower highs work out? It usually works out. How many times does hidden divergence work out? Usually works out. Usually produces a lower low. So we're going to roll with that. I think it's worth the risk, but that's my trading plan. I don't know if your trading plan is the same. If you can be comfortable with that. How many would be comfortable with that? I should put up a poll. How many would be comfortable if that was the analogy, running your business? Is this too expensive right now at this point, or would you just wait till maybe test the 15-minute 50 up here and then possibly get into sales? You would only have to wait an hour. I think go from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, wait about an hour. If it is going to buy, if the buyers do come in and push it up to the 50, you would only have to wait an hour for that and retest the open. This is the conversation of trading. These are the decisions that you make day in and day out of when you're trading. You got to make those decisions. I think one of the things that help is just back testing a lot of these setups. You know, looking back at this gold trade, looking at, for instance, US or NASDAQ. You know, it's really the same play as Nikkei. You know, but just looking at how it bleeds off and reading the TDI, reading the 5-minute 50 of how it's rejecting off of that 5-minute 50. You know, it makes trading, when you start back testing this stuff and you can spot stuff. Most people say, well, I only trade this or I only trade that. Well, they're pretty much all the same, regardless of what you're looking at. You can find, you know, the 5-minute divergence off the 50 on the Russell 2000, you know, and you make a decision whether you want to take that or not. Have you hit your daily goal? Yeah, that's a huge question in this type of scenario of why do you take the trades? What trades make sense for you? In a large piece of, are you hitting are you working against yourself? It's like, have you already made money? Are you working against yourself? You know, so probability of, hey, this is my first trade of the day, and let's just see where it goes. You're not eating up profit. You're just you're trading territory. You're playing offense and not defense. That's a good question. It's a wayside trade. It doesn't have any soil, any root in it. This is the seed tossed to the wayside. Tell all the sellers that this is a wayside trade to the downside. This market has been crazy. All right, so we're starting to approach that here. This 0.27. Remember, when we get up here, we're going to be at about 0.17. Right. So just imagine if from now to London, let's just say from now to London, imagine that by the morning being at 2 to 3% down. That's kind of what the way that we're looking at it is that we're in a seller's market. Imagine that being 2 to 3% down. Normal ranges, not making that up. Normal ranges. That's what it normally does. Imagine it being down 1 to 3% down, and you got in when it was 0.28%. All right, so as price pushes up, it becomes less expensive to take this trade. All right, so who's taking it, who's not? Let me ask that. Let me see who is taking the trade, who is not. That fair value gap that Zach identified is holding up right here on the lower time frames. We do have a fair value gap that is pushed up and it's tapping that. It's a matter of where is it going? Is it going to grab liquidity? This is the last place to grab liquidity. Or is it hopping up above the 50 to grab liquidity above this trend? So that's what the world wants to know. And that's what we're waiting here. I'm going to leave this trade on. I'm really not going to watch it. I'm going to leave the stop in place and see what it does. But it is 8 o'clock is doing its thing. Let's look at it. Look at this 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock candle is doing its thing. Here, I like this feature. You can turn everything off and still be there. It's still there. Just turn it off. Just look at that 8 o'clock candle. It's doing its thing. All right, so I took a buy earlier, now in sale, but wish I would have waited. I'm in. All right, Tamisha is in on the sale. We have the stop loss, if I turn this back on. Stop loss is just above the 1 hour 800, right above the open. And we're going to see if 9 o'clock agrees with what 8 o'clock is doing. Or will we see a lot of exhaustion on this candle? About 5 minutes away from the 1 hour close. And I'm going to let this trade run for the night. Now, it will be interesting because we haven't had in this whole rundown. I think we had one. Yeah, this one here that grabbed liquidity. That was the only engulfing bullish candle that we had. Was a liquidity grab right here, and then the rest was a downward move. So this is if this one closes, we still have 5 minutes. Anything can happen in 5 minutes. But if this one closes above this one, this will be the second engulfing candle in this whole downward spiral. So that may be an indication that we're trying to climb out. But we're on the seller side right now. We are on the selling side. All right, so we'll see. We got the 5 minute, let me bring it back up. That 5 minute 50, we're staying below. We're closing below 5 minute 50. We got to break the Zach's fair value gap here. And then we got to come down. All right, and you look at these plays over and over again over the last few years that we've been trading together. How many times have we seen this specific setup? You know, and you could probably on a probability side count how many times it worked for you, how many times it didn't work for you. All right, and so I'm pretty sure hidden divergence worked for you more times than not, depending on the time frame and depending on what market is going on and what's happening and whatnot. There's probably been times where it went against you. So we'll see. It's one of those things we'll see. I'm going to shut it down, just let it play out, because the run is too far for me to watch it. And I don't want to watch it during evening markets. When we come to this time, it's like you put the play in and let it run, right? And so we want to let this marinate. This is the slow cooker. We got to let it marinate for an hour or two and then come back and see where it's at. But we're going to see if we can push it down. Where is my, where happened to my stop, my buy limit order? Or did I put it in? I don't think I put it in. Let's put my take profit in. There it's in. And that's right at, that's a little higher than what I wanted. Let's put that in before we get off the call. Let's make sure everything is everything. That's where we want it. Here. At 37.035. 37.040. That's what we're going for. You know, that's a long ways down. That's going to be interesting. That's going to be at least a 4-hour move down to that. So that's going to be interesting because 9 o'clock. Okay, we'll see. We'll see. Because 9 o'clock, the next 4-hour candle opens. That's the reason why I'm saying that. All right, that's the play for tonight. Stop loss is at 37,670. Take profits at 37,040. 8 o'clock candle is trying to reverse 7 o'clock and is currently engulfing 7 o'clock. All right, so we're going to see if 9 o'clock is in agreement. Which side is 9 o'clock going to take? Is it going to take 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock? All right, so we got a lot of bullish momentum. I see those bulls coming in. So 8 o'clock may be the reversal candle. We'll see. But that hour is coming up pretty fast. So if it is, so be it. All right, well, that's the end of the hour. Good charting time tonight. You got a time to look at this, see some confluence, back test a few things, see why we're doing what we're doing. We'll wake up tomorrow, see where this one is. We're getting let's watch this 40 seconds, the next 40 seconds play out, and then we'll end the call. But great job tonight, everyone. Getting that charting time in. It's good to see you all tonight. We got 40 seconds trying to push up. 20 seconds left. We're right around 38.2. Let's see if it fades down to below that fair value gap. Right now it's trying to stay up. 10 seconds left. And that is time. Put down your pencils. Time. All right. Yeah, it's didn't create a new high, but we'll see what this next candle do. We're gonna hold on to this trade, see what it does. All right, everyone. Have a good night. Look at that. Look how far that pushed up. All right. I'm not trying to sell you on the sale, but all right. Good night, y'all. Have a good one. We'll talk to you. We'll be back in the morning. All right.